Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome to Get Creative, episode 1 of 2024. I'm so excited to be here. Happy New Year. Hopefully you guys had a great day. The first day of the new year, actually kind of the last day of last year. This is kind of a chill day for most people. I ended up having a big company meeting for about 5 hours today and just kind of cleaning up all the meetings that we weren't able to have to wrap up the year of last year. A lot of success this last year. A lot of success. I'm sure a lot of people felt the success. Market was up. All things were up. Everything was cranking. Real estate, everybody kept saying real estate was going to crash. Real estate did not crash. There's a couple little markets that kind of dipped down in a little bit. Real estate had a great year. I think real estate's going to have another great year, personally. I think a lot of people are the doomsday. I got to sell you that the market's going to crash type of YouTubers. That's not me. I think the market's going to go bonkers. I think if they lower rates, the real estate market's going to go crazy. If they keep rates stagnant or somewhat the same. Now, Joel says now interest rates are dipping a bit. I hope they do, because guess what happens? Everybody that was using creative finance is going and buying in the last couple of years. Your property is going to go up 20%, 30% of value in the next 12 to maybe 24 months. If market stays the same, creative finance is just going to continue to go upwards. If the market, I actually read a thing yesterday from Blackstone saying that they think interest rates are going up. I don't know. We'll see. Nobody knows. But regardless, we want to start the year off with a bang. Today, we're going to be talking about how to get started in real estate. I actually have an interview with a gentleman named Jake Alexander. He showed up. He's in the backstage right now, hanging out, wondering what the heck is this all about. The guy DM'd me a couple weeks ago. And he was one of the people that would DMing me about all the 10 excuses that I think people give themselves of starting in real estate. And he said something to me, and it triggered me to say, let's do a podcast about it. Let's talk about it. Let me break it down and kind of chat through it with you. And so we'll get to that in a couple of minutes. Yeah, I love it. Thank you so much. So good, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I try and read the chat as much as I possibly can. Good to see you, Tigger. Good to see you, Nisha. Good to see you, Elvis. Carrie Ann, good to see you guys. Appreciate you so much. Tonight, we're going to be giving away a $28,000 car that I paid $28,000 for. And I don't even know how many submissions, hundreds and hundreds of submissions. Some of them were funny. Like, hey, Pace, I lost my job and I couldn't make my car payment. So it got, they repoed my car. I need a car. I'm like, bro, you lost your job because you're sitting there smoking weed, messing around, doing drugs, not doing the things you're supposed to be doing. Of course you lost your car. Don't come and ask me for a free car when you're messing around. Then there were a lot of people that were like, I really don't need a car, but give me a car and I'll sell it and use the cash. So a lot of those types of things. And then a good amount of people were saying, hey, I have a friend that's struggling with something. I had a lot of people that told me, hey, I know a single mother that's struggling with kids. And I said, you know what? It can go to anybody today. What I did last year, our team gave away 20 vehicles. 15 of them went to single mothers with children, people that had lost their husbands in, maybe a deployment, lost their husband in a work-related incident, things like that. We gave away 15 cars, and a couple of those people actually not only got a car that we paid for, they didn't have a payment. We paid it all the way off. We gave them insurance for 2 years, gas cards for 2 years, Target gift cards. We gave them car seats. We gave them all the things that really equipped them fully to go out and start getting things done. A lot of these women were getting other people to lend their cars to them, driving family members' cars. They were taking Uber. They were taking buses. They were doing everything possible to keep their life together and support their family. And so, of course, we gave cars to those people. Today, we have a couple of people I think have the opportunity of winning. And I whittled it down to about 15 people based on how many times these people got their names submitted. And I spent the last 2 hours with my wife going through these names and verifying that they are indeed real people and that they do indeed have real stories to tell. So we're going to be on here for an hour and a half. Guys, if you don't know me, you are newer to me. This is the Get Creative podcast. I am known as the #1 creative finance real estate investor in the country. If You're learning creative finance from someone else, 100% chance they learn from me. 100% chance they learn from me. There's absolutely no other way to say it. 100% chance they learn from me. Somebody in my community, told me the other day, they said, everybody I see on stage now talking about creative finance are all people from the sub 2 community. So I love that. I appreciate that. And that's really the cool thing about this community, is that you're starting to see people lead the industry that came from our community. We talk about all things creative finance on this podcast. We talk about how to acquire real estate with truly no money. This is no gimmick. I used to think it was a gimmick too. Now this is the only way I buy real estate. In fact, guys, I just bought a piece of real estate. If you guys want to see I'll give you the Dropbox link. How about that? I'll give you the Dropbox link of the property I just closed on, a 20-acre ranch in Montana, $3.7 million purchase price with $1 down. And we closed on that the day before the year was over, which means I got like a $3.7 million tax write-off for a $1 down payment I put on a property that I will actually be living at probably 3 to 4 months out of the year, running a lot of community events out of that property. And since I've closed on it, I can now share the information and share the stuff with you. Here is the Dropbox link for you guys to go take a look at. The Dropbox link, I just threw it in the chat for you guys in the YouTube. Go take a look at that. That property, I just bought that property. In fact, I want to look at that. Let's take a minute and just, it's the beginning of the year. Let's freaking take a look at this gorgeous thing. I probably have too many people already in here, shutting the whole thing down. Okay, got 12 people there. Perfect. I think the exterior is probably my favorite part of this whole property. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. Let's pull it up. Let's take a look at it. Give you guys all a little gander. I have bought businesses with creative finance, meaning no money out of my pocket, no credit check, no credentials, no bank history, no tax returns, none of that stuff. All the property I have purchased in the last 8-9 years has all been with the exact same strategies, subject to seller finance, etc. So check this property out. All of this is mine. All of this, that house right in the center, that is the property that I just purchased. Let's see if I can move through and take a look at these. All 101. What? Come on, get out of here with that. Let's go back. Okay, Kaufman exterior. Perfect. I won't go through all of these, guys. I want to show you what's possible with creative finance. This is not some rundown house. This is not something that you would look at and say, well, this is a motivated distressed seller and Pace bought a distressed property and has to fix the thing up. If you go through these photos and you actually look, you'll see the largest fish farm right across the street from me. I got a river coming right off the mountain. This is where Glacier National Park is, right by an RV park that I bought with my partner, Jordan Reyes. All of this property is mine. Building a 3,500 square foot barn. You'll see that here in a second, the footprint of it at least. There's the house, 8,000 square feet up there in Montana. We're going to have cows. I'm working on getting some albino buffalo. This is such a brand new property. I mean, it was just built. I bought it with $1 down. The trees that are now lining my driveway and the little ranchette entrance haven't even been put up yet. It's so brand new. So yes, you can buy anything with creative finance. Look at this property. My word. You can see where the barn's going to be placed. The concrete's already been poured. We did heated slabs. I didn't even have to pay for the barn out of pocket. I gave the seller $1 up front as a down payment. He paid for the barn, and the barn is still, these photos are 2 months old. So the barn's basically completed at this point. But you guys can go through the interior of this house. You can see that it's a brand new home. I got it with the furniture included. I got it with the gym equipment included. I got all of these things included with a $1 down payment. So for those of you guys wondering, is it possible for me to do creative finance? Guys, whether it's a single family home you want to buy and put in your portfolio, whether it's a piece of land you want to go build on, whether it's a business you want to go and acquire. Look at this right here. My first check of a business. We're going to be talking about this at the end of the podcast. I have a surprise giveaway today that is it's a pretty amazing surprise. This check is my first check from a company we bought back in June. June 10th, I acquired 50% of a business that was losing a couple $100,000. I acquired it using creative finance, no money out of my pocket, no credit, no credentials, none of that stuff. Took over half the business. It was losing 200 grand a month. Now that business is making about $90,000 a month. And of that, my partner and I own 50%. That means I own 25% because I'm half with my partner, Cody. And so I get 25% of the net profit of a company that's now making $100,000 a month. So is it possible? Can we do this? Yes, that's what this podcast is about. This podcast is the sister companion to a free Facebook group called Creative Finance with Pace Morby. We have about 130,000 members in that Facebook group. Those people are in there. They get a free challenge usually every month. I'll do a 3-day free challenge where I just go through and show people how to do the business. So if you are not a member of that Facebook group, make sure you become one. On this podcast, we've talked about everything you can imagine, but this year is going to be even better, a little bit more precise. We've now changed the time. It used to be Sundays, and I decided Sunday night was a great night. We used to have 1,000 people usually show up to this podcast, and it became a problem because I wanted to spend Sundays with my family, and then I also realized I was asking other people to spend time away from their families on Sunday evenings, and it wasn't fair. We did that for 3 years, and today is the first time of many, many, many episodes in the future that we will be doing this every Monday at 7 p.m. Arizona time. So guys, mark your calendars. Make sure you're here for this. So a couple of things we're going to do today. I'm going to be talking to Jake Alexander. Then we're going to be giving away a car. Let me tell you the story about the car while I've got all your attention. 690 people. Thank you guys for tuning in today. I appreciate you. So what happens? I used to get 1,000 to 2,000 people show up to this podcast live every single Sunday. But when you take 6 months off and you travel around, we wrote a book. That book became a Wall Street Journal bestseller. So congratulations to the team that did that. I traveled around, did that book tour, and I was gone so much, it was hard to do the podcast every single Sunday. So I took it and put it on pause for half a year. And now we're back, but we moved the time to Monday evenings. Hopefully that's a better time for everybody. Now, this car that I'm going to be giving away today is a Toyota Prius. It's a Toyota Prius that I personally drove for several years. I bought it back in 2018. $28,000 is what I paid. I bought it when I was still running my construction company and simultaneously building my wholesale fix and flip and portfolio in real estate. I was on my 4th year of real estate. So this is about, I've been in real estate now roughly 10 years, and this is my 4th year, but I was running my construction business and my real estate business simultaneously. So this car has made my family a lot of money, allowed me to drive to my job sites all over Arizona. It allowed me to do a lot of things efficiently, cheap, and I spent a lot of time in this car. But most importantly, this car was there for me in some really monumental moments of my life. Number one, the birth of my daughter was also the same day that the worst financial thing has ever happened to me. I had a customer in my construction company that owed me millions of dollars. That customer filed bankruptcy, and all the money that he owed me was lost. That letter came in, the bankruptcy letter from that customer came in on September 20th, 2018, the same day my daughter Corbin was born. And as I drove to the hospital, my wife gave birth. We did the thing. I told my wife, hey, I'm going to go check in on our dogs and I'm going to go to the house. I'll be back. When I went back to the home, I checked my mail, and in the mail was a bankruptcy letter. And it was a letter from my biggest customer saying he was filing bankruptcy to the tune of $16 million. I was his second largest creditor. And I had a gasp and I said, what? And I had to start basically from scratch. What I ended up having to do is pretending like that letter didn't happen because I had a baby over at the hospital and a wife that didn't need to hear this. So I, ran back into my car. This is the Prius. I put the letter on my passenger seat next to me, and I could feel the weight of that letter as I'm driving back to the hospital. And, some people would share that with their wife. Oh my gosh, we just lost everything, millions of dollars. And what I did is I said, I'm never going to let my wife know that this happened to us. My wife is not going to know this. I'm going to get right back to work. This is going to be the sign for me to get out of construction and stop relying on people to pay me and chasing down my bills. And I'm already in real estate. I'm going to double down on all my real estate. Sadly, guys, I had 43 rentals at this time. I had to sell all of those rentals to pay my payroll in my construction company. But that was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. That letter and driving to that hospital was a moment for me. I made the decision in this Prius to go full-time in real estate and double down on everything I knew creative finance. And I said, I'm already known as the creative finance guy. Why don't I just double down and just help everybody else? And that Prius is also where I started doing my ride-alongs. I used to take people around in this Prius, drive them around the state of Arizona, Yuma, Flagstaff, all of Phoenix. And I would take people to my job sites, take people to my appointments where I would sellers would call me. I'd get a lead. I'd go to those sellers' houses and I would go on appointments in this car. This car was the car that I signed the most contracts in one day. I got 5 contracts in one day in this car with 3 people sitting with me, and they all watched as I went on all those appointments. This car has been everywhere with me. It was also with me in 2019, a year and a half after the bankruptcy situation, and I had already accumulated 100 rentals in less than a year, starting out from scratch. So pay attention to this. In 2018 to 2019, I acquired 100 rentals starting from scratch with no cash. My customer had filed bankruptcy on me. I had a brand new baby, all sorts of responsibility. I sold my rentals to get out of construction, paid my payroll, and I had no money. In the Christmas of 2018, I remember our baby was so brand new. She was literally like 3-4 months old. I had no money on credit cards, nothing, but I did have a couple of wholesale real estate deals in the pipeline that were about to close within a couple of weeks. And I had control. I had options. And that's the big difference between something really bad happening to you that's maybe never been in real estate and understanding how to go find deals, and me, who I'd already been in real estate. And even though I had lost everything, I had the ability, the skill set, the opportunity to go out and make money. So hopefully we can talk about that today with Jake Alexander. He's in the back screen. So really looking forward to this. What happened is that Christmas, I had nothing. My wife had no idea that gentleman had filed bankruptcy on me. She just saw me making big moves. And I'm going to tell you men out there, this was a great decision on my part. My wife didn't even know until a year later that we had lost everything. And it was my work. It was my work ethic. It was getting right back on it and doubling down without a single complaint, without an issue, without anything. And I rebuilt everything from scratch. I acquired 100 rentals within 12 months using nothing but creative finance, sub-2 seller finance. And that was 2019. In 2020, COVID hit. And I had now at this point, I'm basically at 150 rentals. And then, man, it's been crazy. We now have 2,000 doors in our portfolio, 2,000 doors in our portfolio, RV parks, mobile home parks, apartment buildings, now businesses we've been acquiring with businesses. We have multiple cars we've acquired with creative finance. So if you guys are new to me, check out the YouTube channel. We spend about $10,000 a week in video shooting, editing, graphics, all of the things for the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel costs us about $40,000 to $50,000 a month to put stuff out there for you guys. Make sure you participate in that and learn as much as you possibly can. Creative finance changed my life. I promise you it will change your life as well. It has been the single most important tool I've acquired in my professional career. Since then, I have become friends with some of the greatest people. I'm voice memoing Grant Cardone this morning. I'm texting Dean Graziosi this morning, Jim Quick a couple of days ago. Some of the greatest people in the game of finance, real estate, building businesses, texting with Ed Milet a couple of weeks ago about doing a podcast together. And all of that has become from doing 2 things. 1, learning creative finance and implementing it. And 2, helping other people. And I wanted to start this year off by giving away something that was super important to me. This morning I woke up, I was making a plan. I plan every single week, usually Sundays. Sunday, I did not do my planning. Today, I started doing my planning. I woke up and I was planning on this new house I just bought in Montana. I said, I need to take my extra cars, which is so stupid, right? What, 6 years ago, basically, I'm destitute. I have nothing. And now 6 years later, I'm like, what do I do with all my extra cars, right? Things can happen for you very, very quickly. in less than 10% of your life, right? Less than 10% of your life, your entire life can turn around to a point where you're like, I don't even know what to do with all these cars. And so what happened this morning is I was looking at my cars and I said, I need to take the Prius, the Kia, the Escalade, and the such and such up to Montana, leave them up there so we can have cars in the summertime when we go live up in Montana. And I was like, what am I doing? I'm not gonna take the most important vehicle I've ever owned and just leave it in Montana for 8 months out of the year while I'm not living there. I said, I need to give this away. We need to start the year off with a bang. And so we're going to give that car away today. And I'm so grateful that I have the opportunity to do that. And I'm really grateful for the opportunity to have you guys submit on Instagram. I think we have had a little over 400 submissions. We whittled it down to 15 names, by the way. Those 15 names are verified real people. They have verified legit stories and they legit need help. For those of you guys that I might choose somebody who's not a single mom, okay, that has been my motive the last couple of years is helping single mothers. Why? My wife, when I met her, was a single mom, struggling and working 2 jobs. And my mom had 12 children. And for a couple of years, my mom did not have my father around. And I watched my mom essentially be a single mother for a couple of years with 6 kids in her household. I have a soft spot in my heart for single women. And for those people who are barbaric men, I actually get a lot of barbaric men say some horrible things to me about single women. They go, oh, they're single women for a reason. I can't believe all you do it. What about the men? You should help the men. No, the men should help themselves. The men should help themselves. I'm sorry, but it's interesting when people try and tell you how to give. I had somebody criticize me this morning on my Instagram post of like how I should give and what I should be giving and all of those types of things. And guys, thank you so much for not being one of those hateful, small-minded human beings that just have nothing else to do except create negativity. So today, if it's not a single mother, for those of you guys who have been following me for a long time, it might be that, oh my gosh, Pace is not giving something to a single mother. There's a possibility that I'm not giving something away to a single mother. Be okay with that. Last year, again, we gave away 20 vehicles. This year, we're going to do a lot more. My goal is to give phones away and help people as much as possible, cash, whatever. And we're going to be giving a lot of things away on the Get Creative podcast on Monday night. So guys, thank you so much. 800 people tuned in tonight. How many of you guys right now in the side chat, do me a favor. How many of you guys in the side chat submitted a name to my Instagram DMs? Amari says, Pace, you're the best. If there's anybody in the chat that would like to team up, guys, you should be teaming up. If you are linking in with my students, Sub2 and Gator, I promise you they will help you change your life. Okay. Yeah, that Prius does have a lot of memories, and I want it to go to somebody that is out there helping other people. And so that was kind of the filter that we had today was, I don't want people that are just like addicted to video games and lost their car because they got evicted. That was actually somebody submitted that to our DMs. Hey, Pace, I lost my job and I couldn't pay my bills, so my car got repoed. Okay, why? Well, I just been playing video games and did it. I'm like, bro, there's no way somebody should give you anything, you entitled, lazy son of a gun. I just thought about, I was going to call him a potato, couch potato, but then I actually screwed up and called him a potato bug. If you guys are like from Utah, you'll know what a potato bug is. Yeah, I'm not sure how you verified them. Interesting. Let's see. What did somebody say about that? That's interesting. Somebody says, not sure how you verified them. I verified them how I wanted to verify them. That's how I did it. It is my car after all. It is my stuff after all. There's always somebody that's like, yeah, but how did you verify? This is my stuff. What do you chill, relax. How would I know all these basic terminologies in real estate? I have zero knowledge of what is called creative finance subject to. Naveen, I already answered that. Let me answer it one more time. I have a YouTube channel with 2,400 videos. Type in Pace Morby beginner, Pace Morby how to get started, Pace Morby subject to, Pace Morby creative finance, Pace Morby raising money. Any question you have around real estate, even beginner, type that in. I promise you there's a video on there that can get you moving forward in the right direction. Okay. Awesome. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. So a couple of things we're going to accomplish today. Number one, we will be giving a car away today. And I do have another special reward for somebody at the very end. And we'll announce that at the very, very end. But in between giving the car away, I almost feel like I should give the car away at the end. Should I give the car away at the beginning or at the end? What do you guys think? Somebody in here that's just like, just give the car away right now so I can know whether I'm in here, I'm not in, it's me or it's not me. PM me, real estate now. Marissa says now. You know what? Hey, Jake Alexander, I'm gonna go to you for a little bit, and we're gonna hang out together. Come on up here. Turn your camera on. Please tell me we have good internet. How you doing, Jake?
What's going on, Pace?
There he is. He does have good internet. He does have good audio. What up, bro? How you doing?
Good, man. You?
I'm good. Tell me about our exchange on Instagram. Remind me and tell everybody in the audience what we were chatting about and why I invited you to the show today.
Yeah, so I saw your story the other day, and I've gotten into real estate probably about 6 months ago. Left my corporate job, kind of some big moves going on. And I bought my uncle had passed away, a really good deal. And I bought the house for about 120K, put about 50,000 into reno. But as I'm going through this, this process, I'm like, man, there's a lot of cash, out of pocket, right?
Yeah.
Recently just had a baby 6 months ago. So, in that stage of my life. And I'm like, I've been following you on social media and a lot of your YouTube videos, and I'm still just kind of trying to wrap my head around the whole concept. So really to you, I was like, it's not a time thing. It's not a drive thing. It's nothing like that. It's really just how to get started and lack of knowledge about creative finance and sub two. So that's kind of what I replied to your story with, and you were like, hey, let's hop on a YouTube live and, bring some questions and let's get you caught up. So that's kind of what led it here now.
I love it. Thank you, brother. It's interesting. There's always a little bit of a difference. And I'll tell you the hardest part, and I want everybody to write this down, that came for the title, which was how to get started step by step in 2024. Step number one is know yourself. And that's such an ambiguous answer, but I'll give you a more specific one here in a second. Jake quit his job to go and pursue real estate. Other people in here, Jeffrey Long, he's like, don't quit your active job for passive income. Keep both. And what's interesting is I always say, keep your job. You know why I say keep your job, even though I would not have? I know myself. I know my personality, and I know that I would be more successful going out and just pursuing the thing. But I know myself. I know my capabilities. I trust myself. I have confidence, etc. I watch other people quit their job because they hate it. And then also the biggest reason why a lot of people quit their job is because they're lazy. They don't want to do two things at the same time. Now, you look at my world today, I have 9 businesses. I do nothing but work. I'll tell you the honest truth. As an entrepreneur, I do nothing but work and be with my family. Be with my family, work. Be with my family, work or be with my family. And a lot of times working with my family is really what I'm doing. I'm integrating everything with my family. So I didn't quit my job because I was lazy or quit my stuff because I was lazy. I just knew my personality and my capabilities, that I know that I perform better when my back is up against the wall.
Yeah.
Is that why you quit?
I totally agree. And I come from an athletic background. I played baseball my entire life. So that's kind of the same mindset. It wasn't about being unhappy at a job. I have a part of me that's very money driven, and at a corporate job, you're paid very well, but I would sit in my cubicle all day long. And I felt like when I was out the window, watching out the window, and there's opportunity just passing by. And I said, you know what, enough's enough. It is time to take the chance and bet on myself. So again, I kind of credit that it's knowing myself. And that's why I didn't quit my job when I had these feelings, 2-3 years ago. I wasn't ready at that point, but now it's
love that.
Let's take it on. So
what a great answer. Now, here's the thing. There's other people. I gave this advice very different to one of my students. Her name is Yatung. Okay. And Yatung, obviously she's not American born. Otherwise nobody's naming their American child Yatung, right?
Right.
She is a software programmer, makes $250,000 a year, works like 12 hours a week. And she's like, so I just see all these students quitting all their jobs or getting all these deals. She's like, am I supposed to quit my job? I'm like, no, let's have a conversation. So I had a conversation with her. I go, do you love your job? She goes, yeah, I really do love my job. I love the people. I love this. I go, then why would you quit? She goes, I don't know. I just watch other. I'm like, so I think the biggest challenge in real estate is watching what other people are doing and knowing that not everybody's message, not everybody's path is your path.
Right.
We're all on our own different paths. And it's so hard to explain that to people unless you've been in real estate for a good amount of time. But I think you're starting to understand it probably at the level you're currently at. So knowing yourself, other people that are watching this right now, guys, I know more people that shouldn't quit their job than people who should. Okay. The majority of people should not quit their job until their passive income has exceeded their active income. Now, what does that look like? Let me be a little bit more specific if you guys will let me, and then I'll jump in with Jake. And guys, I promise you, we're going to give the car away today. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hang with us. Let's have a blast. So with Jake, let me put you on a little bit smaller screen for a second. And let me go smaller myself. In the first year of acquiring a single family home, right? So a lot of the properties that I buy are either subject to or seller finance. This is like literally 99.9% of every property I acquire is sub to or seller finance. Now, where you get these deals is another conversation, but let's just break this down for everybody and reverse engineer. If every property I purchase that's a single family home, right? This is just an individual house. My net income on a property for my first year doing traditional rental, okay? Rental. I'm not doing short-term rental. I'm not doing midterm rental on this. My average net income on that property is going to be about $400, okay? How quickly can I find these deals? Well, I can tell you, I have a lot of students who will buy 100 doors in their first year inside of my community. Other people will buy 4 in a year. Depends on the person, depends on how much time, depends on their strategy. There's so many strategies to find deals. That's another question. But I would look at this and go, okay, I don't like my job, but I make $10,000 a month is what it's going to take to support my family. Okay, well, let's divide that by your $400. How many rentals is that? That is what, 50 rentals? Is that right? That doesn't seem like it. It seems like 25, 20. What is that? 26? Let's do the math. Stop guessing, Pace. Somebody's going to beat me to it and be like, how does this guy have so many rental properties? He can't do that math by himself. Like super easy. Okay. It's 25. That's easy. 4 divided. Okay, cool. Perfect. I never said you had to be that smart to do real estate, guys. So 25 rentals at $400. Now that seems really low, but this is a part that a lot of people forget. Every 3 years, on average, I raise my rents about $300 per house. So think about this. If you bought 25 rentals and every 3 years you raise your rents $3,000 or $300, you're actually essentially adding $3,000 a month to your net income. Okay, that's kind of great. That's a hedge against inflation, which is nice. Now, what you should be doing in the very beginning is you should be doing a handful of things, which is what you're doing, Jake. You should be flipping, a couple houses a year, maybe 1 to 3 houses per year. In my opinion, you shouldn't be doing that by yourself. Flipping is not a solo sport. You should be doing that with somebody who's more experienced than you. That's somebody maybe in my community, somebody that you know locally. You should be helping them find deals. Where do I find deals, Pace? I'll tell you in just a minute. So easy. This is like the easiest thing on the planet, but people want to make it really, really challenging. I think it's because it's such an old question that's been brought up so many times that it's still like, why is this Pace? Where do deals come from? I can show you in 3 seconds where deals come from. Okay. So if you're somebody that wants to be a portfolio buyer like me, this is your equation. I just gave you the equation. The average single family home that you will ever acquire. Okay. Ron Natal says driving for dollars. Guys, driving for dollars is actually not a lead generation tactic. It is a list building. Okay. It is a list building strategy that's very different. And we could talk about that so long for so many hours. I love that. Thank you. So sub 2 and seller finance is where I buy. Why? Because I have no cash in the deal. I have no credit and I have no credentials. Really important for me because as you can talk about, Jake, it's interesting that you did a flip, my guy. You did a flip using your own cash. What?
Yeah, no, I mean, it kind of reverts back to just not, the lack of knowledge of, hey, why didn't you, maybe go through some
Okay.
other avenue, right?
I'm going to get, let me just give you some basic knowledge on flipping. Okay. A lot of people you've heard this stuff of like, you should flip with people can do real estate with no money out of pocket, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that stress that you have right now about the cash that you have outlaid in this deal.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not just you have no cash in your pocket or you have a lack of cash in your pocket. You have a lot of cash at risk, right?
Right.
So what I do when I do flips, and all the intelligent fix and flippers that I know, they also do the same thing. It's called mitigating their risk. They're sharing the risk with somebody else. So what I do, and everybody else I know does the same thing. Okay. Let's say that I go to a website like Keegly.com. Okay. Keegly.com is a great place to get fix and flips. Okay. Keegly.com. It's on the screen, guys. And I didn't screw up the penmanship too bad. So if you ask, what did he say? It's spelled right here, Keegly.com. It doesn't have to be capitalized or non-capitalized, Keegly.com. Now, let me show you what that looks like. Watch how fast I can find a deal. Now, you have to run your numbers. This is another thing you have to do. You have to learn how to comp, obviously, but watch how easy this is. Let's go to share screen. Let's go to Google. I'll show you guys how easy this is. Somebody's going to be like, there's no way it's this easy. Yes, it is. Watch. And y'all are like, where do deals come from? Check this out. So let's go to Keegly.com. Oh, okay, cool. Ooh, career, merch, franchising, invest. Ooh, property, deal alerts, properties. Oh my gosh, I can go right here and there's like a list of properties. No way, that's not possible. I can change the market. Oh my gosh, no, wait, hold on. There's all these markets that I can go to. Wait, hold on. There's fix and flips. I could just call them right now and buy these deals right now. These are already contracted. I don't have to call the seller, negotiate with the seller. This is a wholesaler that's willing to sell the deal to me right now. And I can just pick up the phone and buy the deal right. Oh my word. Do we ever have to talk about how to find a fix and flip ever again? No. Let's not, like, when people say, how do I find a fix and flip? I just did it.
Yeah.
I just showed you.
Yeah.
Now,
No,
here's the problem.
That was never finding deals isn't the issue here. It's more about just again, you kind of stated it earlier, putting $170,000 into a property. Like the next couple that I do, I'd like to mitigate that risk moving forward with other types of avenues.
So let's talk about the next step of this, right? How do I not use my own money? Because when I use my own money, I take on my own risk, as you already know. And what I love right now, Jake, is that you are being very transparent and telling people like, yo, I have a lot of stress. I got a baby. I got a wife. I got all this stuff. This is where I go. Every time I want money, I go to myinvestorloan.com. Every time. I have not done a Burr deal, whether I'm doing Burr, whether I'm doing a flip, whether I'm doing a long-term hold, whether I'm doing construction money. I need money for construction. My investor loan. Now, I'm a little bit more of an experienced investor. So my investor loan will give me Pace, not everybody. They give me 90% of my purchase price and 90% of my construction. So that's me. Now, depending on who you are and your experience level, these are non-qualifying loans, which means I'm not using my credit for these. They will wire within 10 days. So if you identify a property you want to go buy, say, hey, myinvestorloan.com, you go submit the thing. You'll get on the phone with somebody. It'll be one of their loan processors. This is who we use. Literally, I've used these guys 700 times. Okay. Tim, the guy that runs this program, a lot of my students use myinvestorloan.com, myinvestorloan.com. Okay. There you go. So YouTube user says also a lot of our students use these for the Morby method. Now, Jake Alexander doesn't know what the Morby method is. So we're going to divert from that for the day. Okay. So, somebody's saying Caleb's a bot. Okay. Let's see. Thank you guys. Yeah. Caleb, we're going to ban you. I'm so sorry. Bye-bye. Guys, if you spam the chat, we got to block you. It is the way it is. I'm so sorry. So my investor loan will give me 90% of the money. Now, where do I get the other 10%? Right? Now let's line this out. You had a purchase. What was your purchase price?
120.
Cool. So they would give me 100. They would give me 90% of the 120. And then you had $50,000 for the renovation. They would give me 90% of that. Okay. So obviously I'm missing 10%. That 10% is about $17,000. Plus I'd probably say $10,000 in miscellaneous stuff like closing costs and miscellaneous, right? So basically I would have to bring $27,000 to the table, either A, by myself, or B, I would get a what? A private money lender.
Mm-hmm.
Now, guys, in the side chat, if you are in my community and you have $27,000, this is one of the reasons why people join our community, is because we have so many people that have so much money. We have a lot of people join our community just because they have money to fund other students' deals. Okay. It's a very, very robust community. So you go and you go, I have students raising $5 million inside of our community. Okay. Julie Burkhart, I'll give you her name right there. Julie Burkhart. She probably doesn't want me to tell everybody, but she's one of my private money lenders. Jake, I'm giving you right now, Julie Burkhart has given me hundreds of thousands of dollars for projects of mine. She's right here. I'm giving you her name. She's right there.
Wrote it down.
I have given you more information than any other real estate investor guru will ever give you. They will never give you the name of their own private money lenders. Julie Burkhart, whether she lends money to you or not, that's her prerogative, but she does lend money to me and other people in the community. And I could go through and continue to name other people in here that have given me money. Okay. Myron Briley, there's a student of mine, amazing guy. Him and I own 30 units together in Texas. So multifamily, creative finance. When he first came into Sub 2 years and 3 or 4 months ago, he hadn't done a creative finance deal. Boom. Now he has 110 doors. 30 of those he's a partner with me on. You got a lot of powerful people in my live chat that will help you. They are collaborative. Our community is full of abundance and givers. Okay. So people in the side chat, people are like, don't blow up Julie. Julie's a big girl. She can handle it. She's awesome. She's been in the community for a couple of years and super helpful. She sent me a text this morning. There you go. Check this out. Ron Natal, listen to this right here. Ron Natal says, that's why I joined the Gator recently, to give money to projects. Have you ever heard of somebody joining somebody else's mentorship just so they could give money to other students?
No.
That's because I don't have a mentorship. I have a community. I
Right.
think mentorships are trash. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. I join mentorships, but those are not going to get you over the hump. You don't need more information. What you need is collaboration with other people 2 steps, 3 steps ahead of you. And that is a community, right?
Yeah.
So you go, okay, well, Myron Briley, for example, he was in the side chat, still in the side chat. He has 110 properties, started from scratch 25 months ago, right? He read the books. He went to the seminars. He watched the YouTube videos. Didn't help him until he got into the community and collaborated with other students. Now Myron helps other people get their first deal. That truly is one of the most important aspects of this, is having people around you. That it's the same thing with you, Jake. In baseball, you got better at baseball or worse at baseball, depending on what teammates you had. You always rise to the people around you, right?
Yeah.
If you had a badass baseball player that was on your team, everybody was trying to aspire to be that person. They were inspired, right? If you're hanging out with other people that are doing real estate investing, even if you're stupid and you're a little baby in real estate, which you're not, I'm just saying for people inside chat, you immediately rise to the occasion. You immediately level up just by being in proximity to people. So what you need is private money. Now, the problem is this skill is a skill that you have to acquire. Okay. You have to acquire the skill of talking to private money lenders. Okay. You have to say, hey, I've got this project. I'm willing to give you 12% interest on your money. I need $27,000 for 6 months or whatever it ends up being, and I'll pay you 12% on that money. Now, think about this. 6 months, $27,000. Let's talk about how much money you would end up spending in fees, okay? You would end up spending, this is crazy. Would you be willing to pay this person $1,620 in interest in a 6-month time frame to alleviate the pressure and pain you have right now of having a lack of cash, Jake?
Yes.
See how crazy it is that people will go and do fix and flips on their own. They'll put all this pressure and this angst on top of themselves, especially you got a growing family and you've got $170,000 at risk. You should be using myinvestorloan.com money, and you should be using like Julie Burkhart's money, for example, and turning her money over every 6 months. Okay.
Right.
This is actually what I teach the Gator tribe to do, is go out, and I gave the Gators access to $300 million, and that's what they do. They fund people's deals. Okay. So money becomes no problem anymore. Now, you have now this is a traditional piece of real estate because you bought it with cash. It wasn't your cash, but you bought it with somebody else's cash. You didn't have to use credit, which is nice. You didn't have to use credentials, which is nice. So technically, in some way, you're fixing and flipping using creative finance, even though you didn't take over somebody else's mortgage, the seller didn't seller finance it to you, etc. Now, let's go to an easy place. If you're like, I want to go develop, I want to go fix and flip, I want to go do projects, I want to go build an RV park, buy an RV park, whatever. Okay. You want me to show you how easy it is to find a creative finance deal? I could tell you to join my community. You'd buy a deal from a student every day. Okay. We have an abundance of deals in the Facebook group. Boom, 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 boom. Other deals people find and they bring to you. Sub 2 seller finance. You don't need to know anything about sub 2 and seller finance other than the people that are finding them, if you are indeed the person that's buying. Now, Jake, if you're like, I want to wholesale, now we got another conversation, right? Depends on your avatar. So I want you to write something down for me, Jake.
Yep.
I have a YouTube video that I call Finding Your Avatar. I want you to go and watch that this week. And I want you to report back to me and tell me what avatar you are. Okay. There are 22 avatars. This is the reason why people fail in real estate, is because they listen to Brandon Turner. Then they listen to Pace Morby. Then they listen to Ryan Pineda. Then they listen to Grant Cardone. Then they listen to this. Then they listen to that. And then they listen to Graham Stephan. And you're like, I don't know who to listen to.
Yeah. More confused than anything.
Right. You're more confused. Why is that? It's not that any of them are wrong. It's that they are speaking from their avatar to you.
Right.
And because you don't know whether to say yes or no to it, right? Are you allergic to anything, Jake?
No.
Okay. I'm allergic to nuts. So when I go to a restaurant, I know I can't eat certain things on the menu, right? But how did I find that out? I found that out as a young kid. I was 8 years old. I go to a church function. Somebody feeds me a cookie. That cookie had almond extract. My family had to rush me to the hospital. We found out I was allergic to tree nuts. Okay, great. Well, I know now when I go places, I know what is not for me. I know what not to eat, what to put into my body, etc. The problem when you're brand new in real estate, you don't know what to say no to. You're like, I'm going to do everything because I think it's just, you look at it as an all-encompassing thing called real estate. You don't know the basics. Here's the basics. Know your avatar. And then secondly, when you know your avatar, you can now tell me what avatar you are, and I can then tell you exactly where to go find deals based on your avatar. Okay. Jake, I'm going to assume some of these answers, I talk to so many people. I dissect so many people all the time. I'm going to assume you're actually pretty good at talking to people.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love talking to people.
Perfect. Okay. You are, in my opinion, you are a visionary. You're not an integrator. You're a visionary. Now, what you want to do, I don't know. Do you need to make monthly income? I think you do. Can you wait to buy 25 rentals to feed your family? Probably not. Here's what I would do. If you're like, I need to make $100,000 this year to survive, here's what I would do. I would do a combination of a couple of things, and I would bleed into what you ultimately need to do. Guys, mark my words, write this down. Nobody wants to wholesale for the rest of their life. And if somebody's teaching you that wholesale is a full-time job, they are wrong. I've never met somebody in my life that has ever retired from wholesale. Nobody. And more importantly, I've never met somebody who is wealthy, who is a wholesaler. Wholesaling is a business model that gets you into the game and gets you pretty quick money within 45 to maybe 90 days. Here's kind of a good strategy over time. There you go. I love this. Heath says, wholesale is starting in the mailroom. Love that answer.
Yeah,
Heath.
that's great.
That is so correct. So it's good. It's a good way to say it, but the reality is there are a lot of wholesalers, me included. When I was primarily wholesaling back in 2017 and 18, I was making $500,000 a year just on the wholesale side of my business, right? I want you to take note of this. This is something very, very important for everybody. There are only 3 ways to make money in real estate. Another way to make money off of real estate that is not, well, let's break this down. Number 1, there's only 3 ways to make money in real estate. What are the 3 ways, Jake? Do you know?
Rentals, wholesale, and flipping.
Good, great job. That's exactly it. Wholesale is number 1, right? This is today money. Wholesale is like today money. Flipping, also we can call this developing, because if somebody's flipping something, it doesn't have to be a single family home flipping and putting on the MLS. It also could be a piece of dirt. I put a house on it. I flip it to the market. It's all flipping, right? Development, that kind of stuff is all flipping.
Right.
There's a lot of people that flip hotels, still flipping, right? There's a lot of people that flip businesses, still flipping. Pace, I'm a developer. No, you're not. You're a flipper. You just don't like the name flipping because you sound like a dolphin. You are a flipper. You are a flipper. Okay. So, and I flip too. I love flipping. Flipping has always been great to me. Have I lost money on deals? Of course, right? Welcome to fixing and flipping real estate. You can lose money from time to time. So fixing and flipping and developing is tomorrow money. Means you got to wait. And then buying and holding, which is what you said, rental, is forever money. So I would argue right now that you need all 3 of these when you're starting out. You're like, I need some today money. Sherry Alley says, I missed it. Who won the car? We haven't given that away yet. We're going to be announcing that in about probably 20 minutes. Hang tight with us. Man, we're almost at 1,000 people. 1,000 people. Thank you guys. By the way, we do the show every single Monday night at 7 p.m. So put it on your calendar. Come hang out with us if you guys want this free knowledge base. Jake, is this helping you out at all?
Absolutely, man. I really appreciate it.
Of course. I think other people appreciate it too. So thank you so much for hanging out with us. So let's go back to this. So there's only 3 ways to make money in real estate. I would look at this and go, okay, what's the average amount of money that somebody makes on each one of these things? And what's the average amount of time it takes to get one of these things done? Okay. Wholesale, the average amount of money that people make that I know of is $15,800. Where does that number come from? How do I know that? People make $15,800 on average on a fix and flip because I know this because I own a title company in multiple states and I look at the average amount of money people make on their fix and flips, and that's the number. The number is $15,800. Okay. How many of those deals would you have to do to make a full-time living? Let's say that you want to make $100,000. That's pretty easy, right? You can divide that into it and you go, okay, I got to do 6 deals. I got to do 6 wholesale deals is all I got to do in an entire year to make $100,000 if all things are held consistent. Okay. Fixing and flipping, the average fix and flip makes about 12% net of the sales price. Interesting. Again, how do I know this? I've been fixing and flipping for a long time. For a lot of you guys that don't know this, I have a TV show on A&E called Triple Digit Flip. It's the #1 watched TV show on A&E Network. It's weird to get a paycheck from Disney, but here we are. I know a thing or two about fixing and flipping. Okay. The average is 12% net. Now, most fix and flippers shoot for 20% net. So let's break down that math for a second, Jake. And what I'm trying to do, guys, is for you to think, in order for me to be a full-time real estate investor, how many of these deals do I have to do on a yearly basis? And I want you to reverse engineer and go, okay, if I did 2 wholesale deals, I did 2 fix and flips, that would give me a full-time income. Then I could start accumulating some rentals on the side.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I'm trying to get you guys to do. Make a game plan. Give yourself some trajectory and a clear vision. Okay. So with the fix and flip, here's what happens with fix and flips. It's really interesting. Let's say I buy a house for $200,000 in Phoenix, and I go, I'm going to put $100,000 into it. So I'm going to be all into it, $300,000. I'm going to sell that thing for $400,000. Well, what does that look like to you? That looks like I made $100,000 profit. Well, the problem is I've got costs associated with that, like realtor fees and commissions and So after all of that, that's going to be about $40,000 off of that. That means I'll make $60,000. Okay, cool. Let's take $60,000 and divide that by 400,000. Let's figure out what the math is on that. Okay. 60,000 divided by 400,000 equals 15%. That's a 15% return. Okay, cool. Here's some rules of thumb. Okay. Here's some rules of thumb. Somebody just gave me 48,000. Guys, the math I want you to follow here is this math. Okay. I said 12% up here. This 12% net, I just gave you a 15% net. I'm going to get to 12% net in a second, why it is 12%. Everybody originally thinks, okay, I'm going to spend 100,000. They don't, they spend more. Everybody thinks it's going to take a certain amount of time. It doesn't. It takes more time, which is why most people that are shooting for a 15 to 20% return on a fix and flip end up being somewhere around 10 to 15%. The average is closer to 12%. So if you see a house, Jake, that is worth $400,000 and you see that's my after repair value or my potential retail value. That's what houses in the neighborhood are selling for a very high price. Mm-hmm. Oh, Sherry says I was guessing. Okay, cool. So that means I won't do that flip unless I know for certain I can net 12%, which equals $48,000. So if I look at a flip and I go, okay, it has the possibility of making $60,000 if I don't make any mistakes. Okay, well, you know what? I know I'm going to make mistakes. Okay, yeah, I'm okay with. I'll do this deal, and that's how I determine a deal. I go, all right, $400,000. I need to walk away making $48,000. I need to do the math and make sure that after all my math, my purchase price, my construction estimate, everything else, I've got a buffer in there. I've got time allowance. Sometimes I even double my budget because it usually does double. And Jake, I'm sure your renovation cost went up quite a bit, right?
Yeah.
Crazy.
From the original quote that we actually did. Yeah.
Can I tell you a couple of reasons why that happens? One, we lie to ourselves when we buy a deal. Right? We're like, it's going to be 50 grand. We don't need to do this. We don't need to do this. You look at the other comps. You convince yourself you don't need to do all these things. But then you get into it and you realize, one, there's more crap to do. Two, you realize, oh, wait, that would be better if I did that. And that would then domino effect here. And oh my gosh, we missed this. And oh my gosh, my contractor didn't give me the price on that. And I thought that was all included. There's 1,000 reasons why these things go up. Contractors take too much time. Sometimes contractors steal money. Contractors steal money a lot. Material costs go up. Contractors don't show up. Then they don't show up again. Then you hire a different contractor. You lose 10 grand on the first contractor. There's 1,000 reasons why these things go up, right? So the average fix and flipper is going to make about 12% on every property. So you look at that and you go, dude, if I want to make 100 grand net a year, I do 2 fix and flips that will sell for $400,000. And if I do that, I'm walking away with $96,000. I don't have to do that many flips. A lot of people are like, oh, I did 60 flips last year. Why?
Yeah.
Bro, what? Do 1 flip a quarter, right? Like you don't need to do a lot. Go to myinvestorloan.com, get your money there, link in with somebody in my community that has private money. They'll hook you up. They're trained. They're given access to tons of money. They'll give you money. You can do these fix and flips without any capital. Now, here's the challenge. The challenge now is you found yourself into another job, right? Fixing and flipping is very much like another job. You're managing people now. You have uncertain amount of money you're going to make. What I always do is I say, look, if you're out there looking for deals, right? You're on, let's just say hypothetically, the only thing you're doing is you're on Keegley.com. Okay. It's the only place you're going, which is one of 100 places you can find deals. You go to Keegley.com and you're looking at all of them. You're comping. You'll end up comping. You know what my magic number is? This will help you out.
10.
40. If I don't comp 40 houses, I'm not buying a house. Okay. I'm not buying a house. I already know the number I have to look at is I have to look at 40 deals before I buy a house. Not because that's some mathematical thing. It's because it's scientifically proven that I will only find one good deal that I love in an area I feel comfortable with after I look at 40 deals off of Keegley.com.
Gotcha.
That's my math. You know what's great about that is I look at that and I'm like, that's amazing. I'm going to learn how to comp better. I'm going to get some reps in. Other losers, not you, not me, other losers go, I got to look at 40 houses. And then they quit. And then they keep going back to their job and go, man, this is hard. Getting into real estate is hard. No, it's not. motivating yourself to do anything consistent is the actual hard thing. That's the only hard thing about real estate, is doing something consistent. And 99% of people we already know, Jake, you know them, I know them, they can't do anything consistently. Nothing. Right. Wake up on time, show up, read a book, do anything 3 days in a row. Good luck. I would bet $10,000 on 99% of the people on the planet that they couldn't do something for 30 days straight. $10,000. I'll bet it right now. You name the name, I'll bet $10,000. Okay. That's the actual hard part. So I look at the 40 houses as a fun thing. I get to look at stuff. Now, Jake, if you're looking at 40 houses and you're just tossing them to the side, then you've screwed up. Because what you should be doing is going, I'm going to find one house out of this pile of 40 houses on Keegley.com that I'm going to buy. I'm going to use myinvestorloan.com. I'm going to use private money. I'm into this deal, no cash. I have no risk at play. Then the other 39 houses I turn away, I'm going to make sure I have 5 or 6 people, maybe they're people in my community that I know are also fixing and flipping in the area. And I say, hey, if I find you a deal, can I get paid a $5,000 or a $10,000 finder's fee on a deal that I find? Now, this is the beautiful thing about real estate. People that fix and flip are the laziest human beings on the planet Earth. Why? Because when they're not lazy, they're exhausted. They go out, they're talking to their contractors, they're doing their thing. Maybe they're working their 9 to 5 as well. Then they come home. They don't want to take the time to look for a deal while they're already in a deal. So if you can be the person that finds them the deal as their other deal is wrapping up and for sale on the market, you could spend the same amount of time looking for one flip yourself per quarter. You should be able to wholesale 1 to 2 deals per quarter through the same exact list of houses you're looking at. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
There's your game plan. Okay. And now, what I would be doing, you want to acquire rentals. Don't acquire rentals with the burst strategy. It's the worst strategy of all time. Does it work? Yes. But why not buy creative finance? Why not buy sub 2 seller finance? And you're sitting here saying, well, why Pace teach me sub 2 and seller finance? Well, I got a lot of stuff on my YouTube channel, 2,400 videos. You can go and deep dive on all that stuff. What I would do is I would link in with people in my community who are out there knocking the doors, cold calling, working with sellers, calling expired listings, calling foreclosures, negotiating. They'll just bring the deal to you. And you don't have to negotiate. You don't have to learn paperwork. You don't have to learn any of that stuff. Work with my sub 2 community. They are the number one. In fact, I don't know another real estate community in the country. I don't know one. You guys name one? Name one for me. I don't know one. People that actually hang out together, 980 of them show up on a random Monday night on New Year's Day to come in and help and hang out with you guys. Ain't happening.
Yeah.
Okay. So boom, you got most of your answers right there, right? You now go, okay, I'm already fixing and flipping because I need active income. And I can't go buy 25 rentals today. Now, Jake, guess what? Somebody else in here I'd give a completely different answer to. The answer I would give to them, let's say they have a $300,000 a year sales job and they have 1 day a week that they actually have time to do real estate. You know what I would tell them to do? I'd say, keep your day job and spend 4 hours a week networking with my students that are finding deals and just buy deals from them, 1 rental per quarter. That's it. You buy 1 rental a quarter, sub 2 seller finance, or a combination of those two from a student that finds deals, because I have a lot of students that will find deals and just wholesale them to you.
Right.
Now, you might ask Jake or Pace, why would one of your students go get all these sub 2 and seller finance deals under contract and then just wholesale them? Why wouldn't they just keep them themselves?
Yeah.
Because they're in a different phase. Remember, everybody has a different journey. So think about the young dude that's like, I'm out here wholesaling sub 2 and seller finance deals because I'm not ready to hold property quite yet. Or better yet, look at Kevin Cho, lives here local, sold me this year, I think 35, 40 deals. Kevin, out of the 60 something deals he acquired this year, got under contract, all sub 2 and seller finance, by the way, he took down 10 rentals and wholesaled the other 40 or 50. So it doesn't mean they're doing one or the other. It means they're doing the same thing I suggested to you. Go to Keegley.com, go through 40 properties, find the one you want. While you're doing that, and every time you say no, you should be like, no, it's not for me, but no, don't throw this away. Give this to somebody else. And don't tell them, hey, I found this on Keegley.com. Will you pay me $5,000?
Yeah.
No, you go, hey, I got a property. I think this would be a good fit for you. Let me know if this is a decent price for you, and I'll send it over to you. It's on the cross streets of this. Here's the photos. The price is $205 because on Keegley's website, it's $200. And then you just assign that deal over, right?
Right.
So there you go. Everybody's different. And every single time I talk to somebody else, it's going to be a completely different piece of advice, right? There's other people I go, you shouldn't be doing anything but just buying deals. Other people I go, you should be a transaction coordinator. Other people go, you should be lending the money. There are 51 different ways to participate in a real estate transaction based on what phase of life you're in and the desires that you have.
Right.
Like your wife, if your wife, like Jake, if your wife was like, I need to get started in real estate, you know what I'd tell your wife? I'd tell her, become a transaction coordinator. Why? Because our average transaction coordinators, the ones that we train in top tier TC, they make $1,000 usually per transaction. They do the paperwork, they coordinate, they do all the things. Okay. But guess who they're communicating with? Imagine, Jake, if your wife was a transaction coordinator in your town. What town are you in?
Virginia Beach.
Perfect. She's in Virginia Beach. How many other investors, real estate investors, do you think there are in Virginia Beach that need transaction coordinators? Just take a wild guess.
100.
Perfect. Let's say there's 5. There's like no possible way there's not at least 5, right?
Right. Yeah.
Let's say that she handles their transactions. She's not only looking at the deals, she's looking at where they're getting their money. She's also communicating with their private money lenders because she's the one that has to get the money to go to title. She has to call the private money lender. Your wife is now your scout for other. Do you see how gangster this is?
Yeah. She's like the inside man.
She's the inside man. And this is why I launched the top tier TC community, because I'm like, these men need to get their wives learning how to do transaction coordination, because what you're doing is really infiltrating other people's businesses. She's making money doing so, seeing how they operate. And these people who you might look at and go, well, she's screwing them over. No, she's not. Jake, these people become the people that you're going to sell that other fix and flip to.
Right. Yep.
She's finding other buyers for you guys to collaborate with. How did I learn this, Jake? Here's how I learned this. Nobody taught you. This is the first time you've ever heard that before, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because nobody's actually doing this business that's on YouTube. I'm telling you, like 99% of the people I know on YouTube, Jerry Norton is one of the very few people I know 100% sure is doing real estate deals on YouTube. One of the very few people. I actually do the real estate business. My wife, this is what happened. My wife, when I told her I was going to get into real estate, was pissed off. You know why? Because she was already in real estate. She was a real estate agent and she was a transaction coordinator for other people's businesses. So when I jumped into real estate, she was mad at me. Why was she mad at me, Jake? Because 1, we were both emotionally unintelligent at the time. And 2, she went in and she goes, dude, I feel like you're kind of stealing my thunder. Like real estate was my thing and like construction was your thing. And now you're kind of like taking this thunder from me. Don't tell her I told you that, but it is true. And when I started getting contracts, Jake, I'm a visionary like you. Are you amazing at paperwork or not so great?
Not so great.
There you go. You need a transaction coordinator. This is why you married your wife, who's probably administratively way more intelligent and actually doesn't mind being online and on hold for the hospital or this and then that and dealing with the insurance. She probably deals with that more than you do, correct?
Yeah.
Bro.
100%, yeah.
She's already a transaction coordinator by nature.
Right.
Okay. All this crap that you don't want to deal with in your business and coordination and all this kind of stuff. I jump into the real estate business. I start getting contracts. My wife is like, hey, what's going on with those contracts? I'm like, don't worry about it. You don't want me to be in this real estate thing anyway. She's like, who's handling your paperwork? I'm like, me. She's like, dude, please let me jump in. My wife, this was the greatest thing. She jumps into my business, starts cleaning up my problems and my paperwork side of things. She then comes in and goes, hey, do you want to sell that deal to my boss, this old boss I used to have that I used to negotiate short sales to? I was like, would he buy this deal from me? She's like, yeah, well, you could flip it and make 30, or you could wholesale it and make 15. What do you want to do? I was like, yeah. And dude, right then I was like, transaction coordinators are the most gangster, they're like the Trojan horses of the industry. If you have a transaction coordinator on your team, your transaction coordinator should also be working for other people's teams. So they are the bridge of collaboration between your companies.
Yeah, that makes so much sense.
Okay, write that down. If you're like, I want my wife to make $3,000, $4,000 a month supplemental, $6,000, $9,000 a month supplemental, just doing transactions for other people. And meanwhile, helping you find buyers, right? Helping you find buyers to buy your wholesale deals that you don't want to buy. Bro, you got a whole entire freaking business right here, right now. Now, would I give this advice to a single dude? No, they don't have a wife.
Right.
And this is the problem. People are like, how do I get started in real estate? Know yourself. Have a conversation like what we're having. I wanted to show people the value of knowing, like, you haven't spoken a lot. I just know personality types. I know what's going on with your wife. I can guess things. And it's like, boom, I just know, right? You're almost like, wait, Pace knows like 90, everything he's saying, he's like 90% spot on. How does he know this? It's almost as if you and I spent a week together and I followed you for a week. I didn't. This is our first time chatting. I just do this so much, and I'm in the business. I'm in the weeds. I help so many people with their businesses that I memorize all these personality distinctions. I already know your avatar, but I already gave you the homework. You need to do this week. You need to watch that video on my YouTube channel. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to go to my YouTube channel and you're going to go, a 4-hour video? Yeah, it's a 4-hour video. People will spend 4 hours of their day avoiding work and sitting around scrolling through Instagram. Look at your screen time and look at your social media, that what you guys did. I spend probably 30 to 45 minutes on social media. The majority of the time I'm in the DMs responding to people like I did to you, Jake. Yeah. Because I want to help people. Did I try and hit you up for some shit to sell you something? No. That's not what I do. I want to do deals with people. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get people to do deals with each other. I'm trying to amplify the industry. So, you know, I spend time on social media too, but I find people, they go, oh, you told me to watch the 4-hour avatar video, but it was 4 hours. All right. Tomorrow you'll spend 2 hours on social media, and the next day you'll spend 2 hours on social media getting nothing out of it. And you'll just make up complaints and whatever else. I know this is not a problem for you. Other people watching this are like, I can't sit through something for 4 hours. Okay, got it. The people who truly understand their avatar, check this out. Aramis says it's 4 hours, but it's worth it. I figured out my avatar after I got stuck. I got stuck for 6 months. So once you understand your avatar, everybody in here that understands their avatar, tell me your avatar in the side chat. You'll be amazed. My community are like, I know I'm this. I know I'm this. Boom, 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 boom. Right? Yeah. That one's super important. The next thing you need to look at is go, all right, where am I going to get my deals? Keegley's great. You're in Virginia Beach. I don't know that they have a Keegley there. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. Great Western is another great place to find fix and flip deals. Okay. Another great place to find fix and flip deals is Investor Lift. Okay. Investor Lift is a really great place to find fix and flip deals. Boom. There's 3 places. Now, Jake, here's the point of this. The challenge is these fix and flips have already been locked up from wholesalers, and these wholesalers are now going to charge you a fee of $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 for finding these deals. Right. So at some point, as you get some momentum and some understanding of where these deals come from, you might just go, I'm just going to find my own deals. And now we're going to have a different conversation. Do you have money? Do you have a budget? Do you have time? Where do you want to spend your time? Do you want to, if you're a gangster and you got a lot of money, the best way to generate leads to go buy houses is direct mail, PPC, PPL. You're getting inbound leads all the time. That the first 4 years of the business, when I got in, that's how I was in this business. I had people call me. Yeah. But you know what I had to learn? Negotiation, sales tactics, charisma, how to communicate with people. So now people are like, oh, I'm just going to buy my deals myself. Okay, great. I did that too. And it was one of the most important skills, the most important merit badges I ever earned and put on my chest was I know how to find a deal. You throw me in freaking Wichita, Kansas, if that's even a real place. Throw me in Wichita, Kansas, butt naked with nothing but an iPhone, and I'll have a deal in 15 minutes. I know how to find a deal. That's a valuable skill set I have. Right. But it takes time, and people are not willing to do that, which I'm grateful they're not, because this whole belief that real estate is competitive is a complete farce. Real estate is not competitive. There's very few people in the planet, in any industry, in any niche, real estate, finance, insurance, freaking barbecue joints, taco stands. Very few people will make it because very few people can do anything 30 days in a row. Okay. Now, you're going to change your business model all the time. Why? Not because you have shiny object syndrome, Jake, but because you have acquired new skills, new levels of understanding, and a different vantage point of the business. And so many people get deflated by this. They learn something new and they go, okay, I've got to change everything. No, you get to change everything as you change yourself. At some point, you're going to wake up and go, why am I doing fixing and flipping? I hate fixing and flipping. F fixing and flipping. You know what's funny is fixing and flipping is what's going to get you to the next stage. And so never say F fixing and flipping. Fixing and flipping was the stage you needed to go through for a while to get to where you're going to go.
Right.
One day you're going to look back on the fix and flips, this one included, the 170,000, and you're going to go, I should have never sold that. I should have kept that thing. What do you think you're going to sell it for, by the way?
Like 370.
Guess what? You'll make a good rip on this deal, which is awesome.
Yeah.
It's a whole year's worth of income or more. By the way, guess what you're going to learn? You're going to learn that fix and flippers pay the highest taxes. And so you'll look at this, $150,000 you'll make. You'll go, dang it, I didn't make 150. I made 90.
Yeah.
The government's taking 60 G's off my 150, right? Okay, great. I got to do two of those to net the money I want to make. Okay, great. Love it. You're going to do great with that. Now you need to be networking with other people in your local area. Network with them, become their friends, find deals for them, trade deals back and forth. Just like I was talking about, as you find deals, you're not just finding deals for yourself. This was one of the greatest advantages of fixing and flipping was as I found deals for my own fix and flip business that didn't fit for me, I would send them to people that I was looking to collaborate with all the time.
Right.
And I'd see them at meetups like, oh, that's the cool guy. That guy's been in business 15 years. I want to make it a goal to send that guy a deal in the next 60 days. I'm going to go through and I'm going to find myself a deal. I'm going to find the 52 deals that I don't like, and I'm going to send them to him. And he's going to tell me why he doesn't like them until the 53rd deal I'm going to send him. He's going to finally buy. And then him and I are going to make money together. Right. Nobody's willing to do that 3 times, let alone 53 times.
Right.
And, you're a baseball guy, so you understand what commitment and consistency feels like. And it's like, if you practice or work out in the gym 3 times a year, you're going to get cut from the team.
Yeah.
So you don't have that problem, right? Other people that I'm talking to through you right now to this live, we've got 1,000 people here tonight. They need to hear this crap because they're going to go, well, I haven't done a deal and I've been watching this and I've been doing this. It's like, cause you haven't done any work. You've been reading about going to the gym and watching other people drive to the gym, but you've been to the gym 3 times in a year and you're wondering why you're fat. And then they go, yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. But then guess what? Even when they realize, yeah, you're right, they still will do the exact same thing they've always done. Nothing. They're addicted. What are they addicted to? They're addicted to comfort. I have now slowly trained myself to be addicted to discomfort in 2 ways. I'm going to give you some advice, man to man here. You already know this because you've already been in this world. I am addicted to the discomfort of uncertainty. Meaning, if I'm uncertain what's going to happen next month, I'm going to work twice as hard as I would be if I was certain. You know, the times I've only been on vacation where I actually went on vacation is when I had a lot of cash in my bank account. And then I'm sitting there, I'm in the Bahamas 7 days, and I'm like, what the freak am I doing here on vacation? God did not put me on this earth to just be on vacation. I need to be grinding. I'll go on vacation when I go speak at Bigger Pockets. I'll take my family to Disney World after I speak at Bigger Pockets for 2 days. Now that's a vacation, but just going to Bermuda or Bahamas just to go to Bahamas, that's not why I was put on this planet.
Yeah.
I want the discomfort. I want to feel like I'm uncertain of what's going to happen the next 30, 60 days. I know myself, and you have a piece of that in you too. Other people can't operate that way. Okay. Other people are like, I need to know the thing. And typically that's a female perspective. Female needs stability. They need certainty. They need security. And so us dudes are behind the scenes talking about, let's freaking roll the dice. Let's do the thing. But when I go home, I'm like, yo, babe, everything's perfect. Right? Because my wife needs a different atmosphere than what I need. And so when I go out in the field, I'm like grinding, I'm doing the thing and whatever. But I'm addicted to uncertainty and I'm addicted to the feeling of progress, right? You ever feel progress? You feel like you learned something. You're like, oh my gosh, I feel so powerful. I feel like I got traction.
That's
Dude,
how I feel right now.
boom. And other people do too. So I'm looking at that every day. Like, how do I get that every day? Here's how you get that every day. You get around people in a community that are doing the thing that you want to do. And every day becomes like when you were on your baseball team where you're like, I can't wait to go to practice. I would get to hang out with my homies.
Right. Yeah.
Nobody had to remind you to have fun at baseball. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So how can Jake create an atmosphere where you don't have to be reminded to have fun in real estate? I have fun in real estate every day. I play yesterday, the last day of the year. I texted a bunch of people in my community. I was like, who wants to go play a 4-on-4 little golf scramble to run the year? We're talking about real estate portfolio.
I saw your story. I was like, damn, I wish I was in Arizona.
Yeah, I do, but I do that crap all the time, right? So I try and create an atmosphere every day where I'm trying to do something like that. Shooting guns with people in my community, going to restaurants, going to talk. What did I do today? Today, I didn't do anything with my community. I did a 5-hour meeting, which is very rare. I did a 5-hour meeting on, the day off, and then I'm doing Get Creative. But usually I'm like morning time with my community, mid-morning time with my family, morning time with my partners in my office and my business, afternoon picking up my girl from school, and then evenings I'm hanging out with my wife, my kids, and my community. We'll do Zooms together. We'll talk about business. We'll call sellers together. We'll raise money together. We'll do all the things. I'm finding a way to balance all of it by integrating it all. But if I don't have a direct connection to other people in the business every day, I feel like I failed that day. And I'm going to guess you probably are going to some real estate meetups and you're meeting some people and you're doing some of that stuff, but you haven't really created a connection with like a squad, a freaking like a wolf pack. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference between going to a real estate meetup and actually being part of a community. So I would look at how do I get around people doing the business that are also on the same playing field as me, that remember what it was like 5 years ago when they were in my shoes and they were trying to make, bridge the gap, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
So homework for the night. Okay. This is hard because other people in here are like, man, I wish Pace would break me down one-on-one and give me some of the next steps. What I would do is go watch the avatar video. Super helpful. I would go to myinvestorloan.com and go, hey, let me submit some houses to you. Even if you're not going to end up buying the houses, go to keegley.com. Just start going through the process of what it looks like to use somebody else's money. Okay. And does the community is only on Facebook or Meta products? No, we're in Discord and we're in Facebook and we are in Kajabi. And yeah, that's basically it. But I'm actually trying to move away from Facebook. I know a lot of people's disdain to Meta and Facebook. They think they're like spying on them in the shower. Guys, surprise, surprise. Your phone is looking at you naked all the time. Okay. There's nothing you or I can do about it. The government controls you. You have no control over your life. Okay. Just get used to it. Get over it. Okay. What's the Discord? The Discord is only for community members. You would know if you were in the community. What about landowners Pace? You got to be more specific to me, brother. I don't know what that means by that. Alex, great thing. Pansy, good to see Pansy in here. She says, I would love to do more activities with my local real estate community. Anyone in the northwest suburbs of Chicago. Nita Patel, Steve, all them. I'm sure you know them, Pansy. There we go. Carolyn and I built our team from Sub-2 students and non-Sub-2 students that love creative finance. It's the dopest thing that we have done. They've built a great team. Keepglee.com. No, it's keyglee.com. Key, key, like key of a house, glee, like happy, keyglee.com. Okay, so you got some homework, Jake. I'm going to announce, you want to hang out with me for 5 minutes while I give something away?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm here till the end.
Okay, cool. So you got some homework. I would go watch the avatar video. I would go mess around with myinvestorloan.com and like submit some houses to them, see what that process feels like. See what numbers they will quote you on your rates, because your rate's going to be different than my rate because I've done hundreds of deals with them.
Sure.
And go, oh man, here's the thing is if you had to give up $10,000 in interest on a house that you're going to make 150 grand on, but not have any money at risk, wouldn't you rather be in that situation?
100 times out of 100 times.
I think a lot of people have to just go through that pressure and that stress. Cause like then you look at a YouTube video And somebody's like, the market's going to crash. And you're like, shit, I got $170,000 out on a house right now.
Yeah.
Right. I have not felt the risk or the pressure of being in a situation that I'm going to lose any of my own capital because I'm using my investor loans money, which is an institution that's it won't come back and hit me on my credit. So if the whole entire market implodes, I go to my investor, I go, I didn't want to do this, but I got to give you this house back. I'm sorry, this didn't work out. My investor loan, I pay my private money lenders back, but my investor loan, it's a non-recourse loan. There's no recourse.
Wow. Yeah.
I have a non-recourse loan that I don't have to use my credit for, and I get a better rate the more deals I do with them. Sweet. And I don't have to feel this feeling that I have. Bro, you quit your job. You want to make sure that cash is a better nest egg. Now, last piece of advice I'll give you, okay? I'm going to say something that's going to hurt at least one person's feelings in here. And sometimes that's just my job. People that use their own money for fix and flips are either A, lazy, or B, ignorant. Lazy means, I don't know. I don't want to submit to myinvestorloan.com. I don't want to have to work with a private money lender. I'm just going to do my own cash. Right? That's lazy. Cool. No problem. That's your prerogative. Go do your thing. But just admit it. Just say, yeah, I'm lazy. I just don't want to go through the extra work of using somebody else's money. It's some form, it's some things, it's a couple of emails, a couple of phone calls. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Okay, great. Just admit that you're lazy and then we'll move on. And that's perfectly fine. I'm lazy at times and I'm okay admitting it. Doesn't mean you have to be perfect all the time. Just you're lazy. The other reason, ignorant. What does that mean? Ignorant means you don't have anything better to do with your money than go and save yourself 12% interest. So think about this. You put all your money at risk, your $170,000, to save yourself 12% interest. Your $170,000 should be making you way more money than 12% interest somewhere else.
Right.
So I look at it, and what I do with my money is I lend my money to people that are the people who don't know any better. The average amount of money I make on my money is about 32% a year. Okay. I do a lot of long-term loans. I do short-term loans where I make like 400% of my money, like really, really quickly. I do other long-term loans that I'm making 14%, 16%. I do some double close loans, but I have a business that's lending my money, but I'm doing it at a higher rate out of convenience. So I find the types of loans. This is something that I teach the Gators how to do. And I'm lending my money at a much higher rate. Why? If I could get 32% on my money and it's more transactional, I've got money turning faster.
Yeah.
Why would I ever put my money in something that I could go borrow money at 12% for? Does that make sense?
Yeah. You wouldn't.
You wouldn't. And
Yeah.
that's what I mean by ignorant. You don't know what you don't know. You don't know that. I'll teach you another thing. This is surprising. Nobody wants to be a real estate investor. Nobody. What we want are the rewards from real estate investing. We want the certainty that the market will always go up over time. We want the certainty that people will most of the time pay their rent. We want, ultimately, you know why people like real estate investing? Is because they can get rich long-term and have certainty for their family and their legacy. If there is anything else that you could guarantee as much as real estate, everybody would do anything but real estate.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. 100%.
So you know what really sophisticated real estate investors do long-term? Here's what they do. They buy real estate the same way I've bought real estate. They sit on that real estate for a couple of years. When the rates go back down, I might have acquired everything with sub-2 and seller finance, but those properties are going to go up in value. What am I going to do? I'm going to refinance, pull that money out tax-free, $5 million. The last time I did it was 2019 when rates were like where they needed to be for me to do this. And we pulled out like $7 million in December of January 2019. And we pulled out like $7 million. What do I do with that? I go and deploy into lending, then make 32% on it, even though I just got a refinance at 4%. So I'm using 4% money that I pulled out tax-free, $7 million, to then go lend out at 32%. Yeah. At the end of the day, sophisticated real estate investors go, I want to be the bank. The person that does the least amount of work and makes the most amount of money per hour is the lender. The lender makes the most money. The bank makes the most money. It's why they have great buildings and gorgeous spots in New York, and they got billions of dollars and da-da-da-da.
Right.
Least amount of work, most amount of money per hour. Okay. So at some point when you're in your 50s, you'll probably wake up and go, man, I got a lot of rentals. I got a lot of fix and flips. I don't want to deal with this anymore. I'm just going to refinance everything out. I'm going to pass this all off to a property manager, and I'm going to take the refinance money. I'm going to go deploy it into lending. But why would you wait that long? Start doing some of it on the side and build your lending business up. Start building it. Build a name for yourself. When you go to these meetups, go, yeah, by the way, I also lend money. Oh my gosh. Here's the thing that my Gators learned. If you go to a real estate meetup and you go, yeah, I have access to money, you're now the coolest person at the party. Right?
Yeah. You're the leader of the wolf pack.
You're the leader of the wolf pack. So that's what Gators learn, right? So I've got Gators learning that. I've got sub 2 students learning how to acquire deals, and I got transaction coordinators that are connecting all of this stuff together and being the infiltrators of the business world, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pansy's like, I want to be the bank. Everybody does. That's the thing. Do you think I want to own real estate? Do you think I want to deal with tenants and deal with all that kind of crap and get criticized for raising my rents by the outside Democratic world? And by the way, I'm not Republican or Democrat. I'm an entrepreneur, but the Democrats seem to hate me when I raise my rates. Okay. Like, you're not mad at Subway when they raise their sandwich shop prices because inflation goes up, but you're mad at me because I just must hate human beings because I want to raise my rents.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so I've given you a lot to chew on. You got to go do a little bit of work and then come back. That's kind of how that works, right? What we're going to do tonight, okay, we're going to be doing 2 cool things. I'm going to be giving away a car, and I made a decision today that I wanted to do something special. I wanted to give away another car, but I'm going to do it in a little bit different format. I have this check. Okay, this check right here. I have not cashed it yet. It's a cashier's check. My partner gave it to me on 12/13, so I've been holding on to it for a couple of weeks. This check came from a business that I bought in June 10th of this year. It's a business that generates $6 million a year in revenue. This month, it made $100,000 net. We turned the whole business around, and I'm so grateful for this opportunity that I decided I'm going to give this full $7,250 check away tonight to somebody who needs a car. Now, I'm not going to give them cash. I decided years ago I don't give people cash anymore. People do stupid things with cash. People are like, I need a car. Okay, I need a car. Great, I'll give you $5,000. You know what they do? They go waste the $5,000 off paying off their credit card or something. It's like, bro, no, you get the car to go make the money to then pay off the credit card. What are you doing? So tonight, I'm going to be announcing somebody else. I'm going to be actually announcing 2 winners. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to commemorate this check that I got from this business. And we saved the business owner's life. He sent me a text message on the 6-month anniversary, which was 12/10, 3 days before I got this check. And he says, you saved my life the day you bought 50% of my business. You saved my life. And now that I have a financial reward that's come to me 6 months later after us building this business, I'm going to give this financial reward to somebody else. And I'm going to hold that person's feet to the fire that they will give the next person in line the same amount of value or more. Okay. So first winner, the person who had surprisingly the most times their name was dropped. Okay. And it came down to 15 people. We had about 300 submissions. About 100 of them were like fake. My wife and I went through the final ones, and the 15 names that we have, I won't go through the 15 names. I'll just go through the winners. The winner of the Toyota Prius. Okay. The Toyota Prius winner. Now, I'm not buying insurance. This person's getting the car today. I just like comped the car. It's like still worth $20,000. If I got to give you more than a $20,000 car, like I got to pay for your insurance and I got to pay for your thing and do your thing, that ain't it today. Okay. I want to save them some money for somebody else. So the person who gets the Prius, who got the most submissions, this means this person has been overly friendly inside of our community. He's made so many friends that he made an impression on people. He's made a major, now some of the women in here, they're like, I wanted the car, but they're pissed off because I'm saying he. So sorry. See, Shari's like, what? A guy? Pace never gives anything to guys. I really don't. I like 99% of the time I'm disparage men. Okay. Because y'all just need to get up off your butts and get to work. Okay. But he's made a lot of friends. He's made an impression. The first time I met him, he had just joined our community. And this is back last year. I bought a 256 unit multifamily property, all creative finance in Springfield, Illinois. This guy drove his then car at the time to come meet me 18 hours. He was like, I have to meet the guy that changed my life. I'm driving. And that car ended up breaking down on him about 4 or 5 months later. He now has been Ubering to work and doing these other things. He got his first sub-2 deal this year. He borrowed money from people in order to get into sub-2. He paid them back with his first sub-2 deal. And he's done more and more and more to improve himself than I think a lot of people I've seen. Super uplifting. And it's amazing how this worked out, because yesterday I went on Instagram stories and I said, hey, whoever wants to come play golf with me today, DM me. First people to DM me, let's go. He's one of the people that DM me. I went and played golf with him. He hadn't played golf in 25 years. And it was amazing how everybody on there's 7 other guys, me included, and this gentleman. And he ended up being on my team. We did a 4-person versus 4-person little scramble. And he had a couple of winning putts, even not after, playing golf for 25 years. And he was just so embarrassed that he hadn't played golf. And he was so embarrassed about the fact that he had to be dropped off at the golf course to come and hang out with the guys by an Uber. And so I said, all right, we're ending the day. It was amazing. We're giving hugs. We're taking a photo, all that stuff. And I look over this dude. Everybody else goes out in the parking lot, and we're all jumping into a couple of us have like $100,000 vehicles, right? Like really nice trucks and really nice whatever. And we're at this country club that I'm a member of, and it felt all whatever. And this dude goes over and he sits on the bench. I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, oh, I got to wait for my Uber. I'm like, you Ubered here, bro? He goes, yeah, my car broke down like a year ago and I've been busing and Ubering everywhere. And he's like, but don't worry, dude. This was like the greatest day ever. I had so much fun with all these people. And I go, dude, I'll take you home. Come on, man. I take him home, and my son, I look over my son and I go, dude, you see how people can struggle in life and still not give up, and this, that, and the other. And Larry was being inspirational with my son, and my son, Asher, 16-year-old boy, hung out with Larry in his golf cart all day long, and they became friends. And so the winner of the Prius, the #1 most submitted name, is Larry the Lion. So proud of you. You get the Prius, man. And it's great that I don't actually have to drive it that far. I get to drive it right down the road. I know exactly where it is. So Larry Parsons, congratulations, Larry. You get a $20,000 Prius. He told me on the way home last night, I said, how much are you spending on Uber every month? Because he Ubers to his job. He Ubers home. He rides the bus. I go, how much are you spending? He goes, about $30 a day. So that's $900 a month. We just saved this guy. Now he has the freedom to go where he wants, a car that's reliable, a car that's made me a lot of money and has changed a lot of people's lives as well. So I don't know if Larry's on here tonight or not, but please, guys, if you're in our community, please tell Larry we're proud of him for constantly being uplifting and positive, even in the face of adversity. Nobody could deserve this any more than Larry. Let him know we love him and we appreciate him. He's doing a great job. So Larry Parsons, you are the winner of the Prius. Congratulations. Now, I have a second person that I want to hand this to. This is a check for $7,250, a check that I earned by saving somebody's business in June. Told you the story already. Didn't just save his business. I saved 25 jobs. I saved this man's life. He told me the day that I bought the business, he said, if you hadn't come in and restructured my whole business, I was going to end my own life. I was robbing from Peter to rob Paul. It was going on for way too long. I couldn't figure out the back end of my operations. And shout out to my team, my CFO, my COO, my partner, Cody, our whole executive team, that when a business is struggling, okay, we know how to turn that business around and get it up to profitability and seeing new heights it's never seen before. Those employees in 8 years of that company running have never had benefits. Their paychecks were never paid on time consistently. I should say they were not consistently paid on time. He was late on every bill every single month, and he was borrowing from everybody. We went in, restructured all the stuff, restructured all the debts, got systems and processes in place. The employees are like, one of the ladies that works there, she's one of the executives of the company. She left an executive position at a very high end. If I told you the name of the company, you know, but I don't want to like trigger who this is. She leaves a company because she says, I believe in this new company. She leaves a company I've been at for 20 years to go and invest her life in this new business that ended up going down. Sales were up. Company's amazing. The problem is the management of the back end and the finances. This person had no idea what they were doing. Our team came in, acquired 50% of the business, converted it into a $200,000 losing company to a $100,000 a month making money net profit company. And I've never been so proud of my team before. And it's just amazing what creative finance can do and restructuring things. I'm just so proud. And so I don't want to take this $7,250 and put it in my family's bank and live on this. I want to give this to somebody else. And so what I want to do is this has to go towards a car because this other person was the second person in line that got their name submitted a ton. And their car got hit by somebody and they lost their vehicle and they've been struggling to get back on their feet. And this $7,250 is going to Quashawn Carter, Q, as we call him in the community, Q. And I've done deals with Q. He had a car that got hit and a lot of things, you know, oh, there's Larry right there. Larry says, I'm so grateful for this community. I've never felt so much love in my life. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Bro, good things happen to good people. And momentum is one of the most important things in the world. And I'm just want to say I'm proud of you. I'm proud of your positive attitude, proud of your smile, proud of the way you showed up yesterday on the golf course. Nobody else could have been more deserving. You were the most submitted name out of everybody. So Q, you got a $7,250 check. Email Molly on my team, and Molly will get this money wired over to you. But if you do not buy a car, we will not. You need to get a car lined up, and I will buy the car. That's what I will be doing. $7,250. We will buy a car for you. I'm not giving cash anymore. We learned the hard way giving people cash. They just do stupid things with it. So, cheers to you, Larry. Cheers to you, Q. Proud of you, brother. Doing deals with you in the past was awesome. And I just want to say cheers to everybody. Happy New Year. We'll be doing this so much more on Monday nights. Come hang out with me. I'll teach you guys things that nobody else is going to teach you. I'll give you an education on cash, wholesale, fixing and flipping that other people will charge you $50,000 for. I will change your life. I promise you that. I say that in a very confident way because I've watched what we do change the trajectory of people's financial futures, their family, etc. Proud of my community, proud of the people that are working hard to change other people's lives. This is not a year that I'm going to change or upgrade my life. This is a year that I'm going to focus entirely on upgrading other people's lives. And I wanted to start the year off by saying, how do I just send a message to the universe? How do I send a message to the universe that this is the year that I go from being a giver to being the ultimate giver, where everybody I touch, everybody I'm around feels the abundance, feels the positivity, and my focus is changing other people's lives. And I know at the end of the day, it's going to come back to me and my family, but that's not going to be the focus. So appreciate you, Jake. Thanks for hanging out tonight. Appreciate you tremendously. Love you guys. And I'll see you guys next Monday. Please mark it on your calendar. Do me a favor. If you're not a member of my free Facebook group, please go to the free Facebook group, Creative Finance with Pace Morby, submit to be a member over there. It's completely free. We give free wholesale contracts over there. We give free JV contracts. We give all sorts of things. The day you join that free Facebook group and you become a member of the free Facebook group, you'll get probably a $7,000 list of documents that cost us a lot of money for contracts and agreements and all the things that you're going to need to get started in cash, wholesale, fix and flip type of real estate. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. We spend a lot of money, a tremendous amount of money on this YouTube channel. And as you can tell, my voice is always going out. My voice is always weakening because I'm always on here shouting, trying to change people's lives as all of this has changed mine. Appreciate you guys tremendously. Thank you guys so, so much. And we'll see you guys next week on Get Creative, episode number 2 of the year.